Leadership Rababare.
It's all the serious stuff,
but with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Right here.
On Hard Facts. On Hard Facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: Nigeria has reduced the visa fees for Americans. The Interior Ministry took the decision yesterday. Government is now telling America, cool temper now, cool temper. Small play. Decision was taken by the Interior Ministry, the one that's headed by Ralph Aghogho, who I told you said he didn't know what his ministry did. Well, first full week on the job, and Aghogho has taken action. You remember, of course, that the Americans said that they had been asking Nigeria to reduce our fees for 18 months, and nothing happened. And now, in less than 8 days, Aghogho did what needed to be done. We also get the job done here on Hard Facts. We are here every day to give you what we promised, the best insights into today's most important topics. We bring them to you, we break them down, we give you the facts, and you form an informed opinion. And any of last week's shows that you miss, you can watch on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. I have a great show for you today. We're starting with the big three. Premium Times is the legend that one of our new ministers once stole from the nation. And Obinwanne Invictus Okeke is facing 30 years in prison. And the family of a ransomed kidnap victim says government lied about rescuing her. Those are on the big three. It's Thursday, so we're bringing you Eyewitness as usual. We're expecting your calls about the stories from your corner of Lagos that you want covered. That's happening at 4. And on the big hard fact, we're talking about food security. The other day, Ore and Sankara had a debate on I Beg to Differ about whether Nigeria was food secure. And you called in with a lot of hot takes about food security. So let me tell you what it is. What is food security? What does it mean? Do we have it? What steps need to be taken? And then I'm going to be asking you about the food in your pot. What's in your pot right now? We'll find out at 5. It's going to be great. We'll wrap up the show with listed Lagosian. Today, Ireti Bakare Yusuf is talking to Miss Aduke Gomez about her Lagos. And I cannot wait for the day that I am a listed Lagosian, that I can tell you about my favorite spots in this town. But I'm not an Omweko yet. But I think I'm getting there, right? I'm getting there. I think so. Right? Karim, am I getting there? Yes? Karim says yes. As usual, throughout the show, we'll be bringing you the latest updates from the worlds of news, sports, entertainment, and the rest of it in between. But before we get there, we've got the big three coming up. We're streaming this conversation live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. So you want to leave us comments, you want to have our studio numbers, all of that coming right up. Don't go away.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three. On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, and you can leave us comments there. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. You know what to expect on the big three. Stories that everybody is talking about right now. Is there a thief in the cabinet? Are we too unquestioning of wealth? And do the security agencies ever rescue kidnapped victims? Let's get into these stories. Premium Times is reporting that the new Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, was once caught with his hand in the till, with money embezzled from the government. According to the online publication, Magashi, who was commander of the Guards Brigade under interim President Ernest Shonekan and military dictator Sani Abacha, was caught by the Obasanjo administration with $550,000 of looted oil money. Premium Times claims to have seen a memo to Obasanjo from his national security advisor, in which it was revealed that Magashi was made to refund $400,000 of that money. money. In return for the government not prosecuting him, Magashi, the presidency, and former President Obasanjo are all yet to comment on this story. Now, we're talking about this today, not because it has been proven, I have to make that clear, it hasn't been proven, but because a serious allegation has been made with a newspaper saying we have proof. Now, in any country in the world, this would be called a scoop, and those named in the story will be commenting by now. Because here's the thing, Premium Times is not saying it is alleged. They're saying this is what happened, and we have seen the memos to prove it. They're making a direct allegation, and lots of Nigerians want to know what those involved have to say. But like I said, Magashi, the presidency, former President Obasanjo, all of them are yet to comment on this story. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about this, and one of the big points that keeps getting made over and over again is about the ministerial screening process. That process took months. We got ministers 85 days after the president took office. That's a few days shy of 3 months. The reason we were given for that delay was that the president and his team were vetting the candidates. Now, apart from this vetting process, the security agencies also screen every nominee. And that includes the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, NIA, and the State Security Service, SSS. I'm no longer calling them DSS since we've received the correction that that is not their legal name. So I'm sticking to SSS. So these agencies all screened Magashi before his name was announced by the president. And remember that President Buhari has said over and over that fighting corruption is his priority. So now you have this very heavy corruption allegation against a man nominated by the president himself after 3 months of vetting, after passing security checks. Shouldn't we expect a statement from the presidency and the security agents and anybody who was involved in vetting him to either deny it or say, oh, we'll look into it? Can silence really be the answer? And let's also remember something. Magashi served in Abacha's government. President Buhari also served in that government as head of PTF, the Petroleum Trust Fund. So the president knew Magashi in the period these accusations come from. So surely an answer is needed. Or maybe I'm just blowing this out of proportion. What do you think? Should the presidency respond to this story? Premium Times is claiming to have presidential memos from the Obasanjo administration as proof. Is that enough? If these allegations are true, does this undermine the screening process? Remember, Kemi Adeosun also passed screening with a fake NYSC exemption certificate. So if these allegations are true, does this undermine the screening process? That's our first story on the Big Three. Let me hear your thoughts. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. There's also WhatsApp 080 959 75805, 080 959 75805. Our second story from Forbes, 30 under 30 to possibly 30 years in prison. We'll take a look at that story after these calls. We've got our very first caller on the line. Can we talk to him, please? Unfortunately, that call's gone. So back to our second story. I was telling you that the U.S. Department of Justice has charged Obinwanne Invictus Okeke in the state of Virginia with 2 counts of computer and wire fraud. Okeke is being accused of defrauding a UK-based company of $11 million or 3.9 billion naira using business email fraud. Now, before his arrest, Okeke was viewed as a successful businessman in Nigeria's oil and gas and real estate sectors, and he was featured on the cover of Forbes magazine as one of their 30 rich Africans under 30. So it's quite the thing, isn't it? Now we have this case that has rocked a lot of circles, and we're going to come back to talking about this particular story after we talk to Thomas. Thomas is in Shangota. Hello, Thomas. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, welcome.
Sandra, you talk as if you are not a Nigerian. What do you want Mr. President to say? What do you want him to say? You to respond that he's wrong or right? Is he somebody that obey Constitution? He doesn't obey Constitution, so whatever people say is not of his business.
Well, but this one has nothing to do with Constitution now, Thomas. This one is entirely about.
When somebody is obeying Constitution, he will be able to know that so thing is wrong when he do it, and it's what the Constitution will ban. He will obey Constitution. But this one, will you take him to court, or is just mere talk? What will you do to him? Nothing. The man will serve 4 years, and
so that's all you care about, what the president is going to say and how he feels about the matter.
He will always be silent with this type of thing. We know who is working with him. We know.
All right, Thomas, thank you for calling and sharing your thoughts. We know who we're working with. Do we? I don't know. Christopher's in Surulere. I'm going to take the very final call from Christopher and go back to telling you about Invictus Oboh. Hello, Christopher.
President Sandra.
Good afternoon.
I think it's only in your government that I'll be making my comment now, because when you talk, the lovers of this government will say, oh, you are being sentimental, you are being this. So that aside, that is what I'll be doing now, Sandra. Only on your government, I'll be making my comment.
Okay.
And Sandra, the way you pronounce, where is that place the first caller call from?
Shangota. Am I wrong?
Songota.
Oh, Songota. Don't worry. My Omo Eco status is coming.
No, it's well. You are doing fine, my sister. Thank you. Like the guy said, say you are talking as if you are not a Nigerian. You remember when you pronounce Magodo? It's Magodo.
Oh, Magodo. I see.
Yes.
I'm learning. Songota. Oh, thank you.
Don't worry, you will get there, my sister. Thank you.
Yes, I will. All right, Christopher, thanks for calling. Christopher just wanted to say all of that. Okay. Well, back to our second story. I'm telling you about Invictus Oboh, whose case has rocked a lot of circles. So, Invictus Oboh had become something of a celebrity before he was arrested. He was known online by his nickname Invictus Oboh. So if you hear me say Invictus Oboh, I'm talking about Obi-Wan Okeke, right? Invictus is the name of his group of companies. He was very, very active on Instagram, and he had a very large following. He usually dropped inspirational messages and basically portrayed himself online as a very intelligent businessman who had gotten to the level he had gotten to because he was able to see opportunities and be smart and use them well. And of course, people believed him. People praised him. People flocked to him. And he wasn't just private individuals. We have Forbes magazine also believe in him. They didn't just believe in him. They put him on the Forbes list. Now, let me tell you about the Forbes list. The Forbes list is Forbes magazine's flagship property. It's the piece of content that they are most famous for. It's the piece of Forbes content that gets quoted by other publications and by people on the street. The entire organization is built around assessing the wealth of businessmen. I'm talking about Forbes now. And yet, even they did not look deeply enough at this man to decide whether or not the source of his wealth was properly accounted for. And that got me thinking. It really did. It got me thinking. Do rich people get a pass? Does our society spend too much time admiring rich people and deferring to rich people and trying to impress rich people that we don't pay enough attention to why they're rich? Okeke is not the first person who, after being praised for years for their wealth, finally gets questioned about its origins. Remember Cecilia Ibru? She was convicted of fraud. But if even before the criminal convictions, do we tend to hero worship CEOs and successful business people too much? Does it make us overlook some of their unethical or shady dealings? A cement truck collided with a bus this week. You remember that? People died. We're hearing complaints that this particular cement company doesn't take care of its trucks, that it is normal for them to malfunction. But the owner of the company is not being scrutinized. He's considered a hero. He's considered goals. He's considered God when we hear of business owners that are not paying their salaries and still they're getting praised by society. Do you think we worship wealth? Do we do a good enough job scrutinizing the source of people's wealth? Is it important to do that? Are we supposed to keep asking or to be asking, what does your company do? How does it do it? Are we supposed to do that? Or should we mind our business? Because how are so many fraudsters getting away with pretending to be legitimate business people? How are so many legitimate business people getting away with shady business practices? I want to hear your thoughts on this story. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. Let me talk to you now. Hello.
Hello.
Turn your radio off. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
I just first of all let me commend you about your program. I'm very, very happy with the facts that is coming out from your station.
Thank you.
And talk on the last issue about wealth. It's a pity in Nigeria that we worship people, rich people, not minding their source. And basically, only a few people that you can say have a clean source of wealth in our own part of the world. That is the fact. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Good. So, there are many places. Okay, let me just say the sense of this Waduma of Adamawa or Taraba State. Look at what we read about his philanthropist. If he was not caught, we still be believing him to be a generous person and all this kind. Whereas he was doing some shady deal behind, under the screen, to amass wealth. And that is very, very unfortunate. On the issue of the Minister of Defense, well, that is a shocking news. I hope it is true. If it is true, well, I believe government should do something about it. Especially in the by the total of fighting corruption. But there's no way you can fight corruption with corrupt people.
That's
so I think those are my own opinion about everything.
Thank you so much for calling and sharing it, sir. I appreciate it. Carlo is the last call we'll take and move on to our final story. Carlo says we do not worship wealth. What do you mean?
Okay, individually, for me, I think I do not worship wealth.
Okay.
But here in Nigeria, the entire system make it look like we worship wealth. Because if you look at what is happening all over the country, we don't have a principle as a country. This is the principle we abide with. If you say Nigeria is doing good, Nigeria is not doing good because it has a principle to do good. There's an impulse to do good. The same person that does good now, next minute he does bad. Because there is no principle, either thought or being concreted in his life. So we just choose to do anything we like. Somebody might be hungry today, you see money on the road and pick it. Tomorrow he's not hungry, you see money and leave it. So because there is no principle. That's what I wanted to say. But what I wanted to say on the issue of the president, the minister that was caught, I think what I would say that I will not say that. You know, when the president wanted to appoint somebody, the minister, he said he wanted to appoint people that he knows. In other words, he knows the man. Probably he knows the man that he has something against him. There's something against him. He still went ahead to appoint him. What I want to say that he knows that the man
knows the situation.
Yes, because he said, he wants to approach people that he knows.
Carlo, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Chike Ono on Facebook says, I think the screening guys are doing this on purpose so as to find a reason to blackmail them into doing their bidding. Augustine Walieze says, the Magashi issue further confirms that Buhari's anti-corruption war is selective and not working. Are we going to have time to get into our third and final story? Let's find out.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And no, we don't have time to take calls on the final story. I'll tell you about it anyway. On the Big Three today, I told you that Premium Times is alleging that one of our new ministers once stole from the country. Obinwanne Invictus Okeke is facing 30 years in prison, and the family of a ransomed kidnapped victim says government lied about rescuing her. Do the security agencies ever rescue kidnapped victims? Our third story takes us from a fake business to fake news. Presidential media aide Bashir Ahmed has had to apologize for announcing that the police rescued a kidnapped victim. Ahmed had first tweeted that the Kaduna Police Command had rescued 3 students of Ahmadu Bello University who had been kidnapped on a highway. But a brother to one of the victims tweeted back and called the announcement a lie. According to the man, Sadiq Ango, the families of the 3 victims negotiated with the kidnappers for 48 hours and paid a ransom to free their relatives without any help from the police. Ahmed later returned to Twitter to confirm Ango's version of events and apologize for the prior information. So it begs the question, do you know any kidnapped victim who was rescued by police or any other security agent or agencies? Not ransomed with money, I mean rescued, like in film. Police traced the kidnappers and shouted freeze and had a shootout and saved the person. Anybody? Anyone? How do you feel about Kaduna Police Command giving NAN? Because they gave NAN that story, the news agency of Nigeria, the fake story about a rescue. How do you feel about NAN not confirming the story? How do you feel about Bashir Ahmed, the spokesman of the president, getting his information third hand from NAN? Let me know on Twitter and on Facebook, Nigeria Info FM. We've got the guys from Raleigh Academy on the show. If you want to trade in Forex, you should be listening to this conversation. They'll teach you how, they'll teach you where, they'll teach you when. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. On the other side of 4 o'clock, we'll have conversations on Eyewitness. What's happening in your area of Lagos that Lagos needs to know about?
99.3 Nigeria Info.